What's up, basketball fans? Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, breaking down all the latest news and rumors. And today, we've got a little bit of news, and we've also got a ton of draft rumors ready for you. And guys, it's the most wonderful time of the year because it's the offseason, and we officially have a start date. Free agency is set to begin on November 20th for the NBA this year, and then the signings will begin on November 22nd. Now, the season is set to start on December 22nd, so things are going to get a little bit crazy over the next couple of weeks. Remember, the NBA draft is November 18th, so that means 2 days after the draft, teams can start meeting with players. 2 days after that, they can officially start signing their players, and there's a chance that the trade moratorium is lifted by November 16th. So take a look at this tentative schedule. Obviously, a lot of these are subject to change, so November 16th, that trade period begins, and that's when teams can start officially making deals, calling them into Adam Silver. November 18th, we got the NBA draft. November 20th, the free agency period starts. December 1st, we have training camp, and December 22nd, you can officially watch basketball once again. Now, with November 18th coming up and the NBA draft being right around the corner, I want to remind you of the NBA draft coverage we had last year, because last year we broke records on the internet, and I want to make sure you guys are a part of it. As you can see, we had a lot of fun with the first pick. We had a lot of surprising picks like Cam Johnson to the Suns. I was surprised by Tyler Hero. You can go back and clown me for getting that pick wrong. And if you don't think we're live for the entire thing, well, that's where you're wrong, because you see this guy, Vanja Marinkovic? I bet most of you don't even know who that is. Last pick in the first round of the draft, we were still live for it. We're live all night long, and then we're live for about an hour after the draft as well. So make sure you've subscribed and make sure you've turned on your notifications so that you don't miss any of the draft action we're going to have here on Chat Sports. Now, speaking of the draft, let's talk about the potential number one pick in LaMelo Ball. According to multiple reports, the expectation around the league is that he's going to go number one. Now, if you've watched this channel for the past week, you know that my most recent video on LaMelo Ball had him dropping out of the top three because he was, quote, having bad interviews. Guess what? Nobody knows anything about anything until the draft actually rolls around. But the Timberwolves are expected to take him if they stay at one. And if they do stay at one, there's teams that are going to call about trading up. Now, here's what Yahoo Sports had to say. They said one player that most front offices aren't expecting to be on the board when the Warriors are picking is LaMelo Ball, as teams are operating under the assumption that the Minnesota Timberwolves or another team that trades up will select the youngest Ball brother with the number one pick. ESPN's Jonathan Givony reported Monday morning, citing multiple sources. So, Ball goes number one, then you got to look at the rest of the top five. You got the Golden State Warriors at 2, the Hornets at 3, the Bulls at 4, and the Cavs at 5. There are multiple reports that the Hornets really like LaMelo Ball. There are reports about the Chicago Bulls, who we'll talk about here in a little bit. And in all reality, Cavaliers probably not going to take LaMelo Ball at 5 with Colin Sexton and Darius Garland already there. So let's pretend the Timberwolves stay at number one. They don't trade the pick, and they take the best player available, who they might believe is LaMelo Ball. Your new backcourt of the future is LaMelo and D'Angelo Russell. I mean, two fun names. You got to love that. And then I think you start Josh Okogie at the forward position. He's your best defender on that team. Probably start Amari Spellman as a power forward, if not James Johnson. And then, of course, your centerpiece, your cornerstone, Karl-Anthony Towns, holding down the middle. But that's only if the T-Wolves stay at one, which they might not even look to do. And by the way, LaMelo and D'Angelo, that backcourt would get absolutely slaughtered on the defensive side of the ball. But which team do you think would be the best fit for LaMelo in this upcoming draft? Any of the teams in the top 5 are probably realistic. Once you get past that, maybe the Pistons, maybe the Knicks could be there, but be realistic and tell me who you think the best fit for LaMelo would be in this year's draft. Now, one team that's reportedly showing interest in him now is the Golden State Warriors. There are multiple reports that there are people within the front office pushing for the Warriors to draft LaMelo Ball if James Wiseman goes number one to the Timberwolves, which, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, ain't going to happen. My biggest question mark is how does this fit with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, even Andrew Wiggins? And maybe they just take him number 2 because he's available and they trade him later, much like they did when they signed D'Angelo Russell. Now, here's the report from Jonathan Wasserman. He says a source told Bleacher Report that there is a rumor circulating that Warriors ownership could pressure the front office to select Ball if Wiseman is gone. Another source close to Golden State indicates there are both pro-Ball and anti-Ball voices inside the front office. So, if this were to become a reality, if LaMelo Ball were to go number 2 to the Golden State Warriors, you kind of have to start him. Like, you can't take this kid number 2 overall and then bring him off the bench with a terrible bench unit. So I think you start him in the backcourt, maybe just up his trade value. Put Clay at the 3, of course, Draymond at the 5 or the 4, and I guess Kevon Looney or Marquise Chris are your starting center once you start the year, and you make Andrew Wiggins a 6th man up until you probably trade one of LaMelo or Wiggins. But there's a lot of options that are going to be on the board for the Warriors. Maybe Anthony Edwards goes number 1. I still think that's going to be the case. Maybe James Wiseman goes number 1. Maybe LaMelo Ball goes number 1. One of these 3 guys or 2 of these 3 guys are going to be on the board for the Warriors at 2. So who's the best pick? Type AE for Anthony Edwards, JW for James Wiseman, or LB for LaMelo Ball. If you want to go for fit, James Wiseman's the answer. If you want to go for best player available, Anthony Edwards is the answer. If you want to go the highest ceiling, LaMelo Ball's the answer. So take your pick with whichever one. Let's keep talking about LaMelo Ball, and there are 3 teams that are probably too low in the draft to actually draft him where they're slated. So these are teams that are reportedly interested in trading up for LaMelo Ball. The Chicago Bulls, who have the 4th overall pick, the Detroit Pistons, who have the 7th overall pick, and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are way outside of the range of LaMelo Ball. Now, of these 3 teams, I think the Bulls probably have the most intriguing trade package to offer the Timberwolves to get to number 1 to ensure they get their guy in LaMelo. So here's my hypothetical trade. And then I know everybody in the comments, you're going to say, oh, Jimmy, you just love to make up trades. Yeah, I do. Sue me. But here's my trade idea. Number 1 pick and James Johnson's $15 million contract go to the Chicago Bulls. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, get the 4th overall pick, so they move down 3 spots. They can still get a guy they really like. They get the 2nd round pick from the Bulls, which is 44th. They get Thaddeus Young, who is an established veteran that could play power forward alongside Karl-Anthony Towns. And they get a 1st round pick from just 2 years ago in Chandler Hutchison, who hasn't got a chance to prove himself due to injury. If you're the Timberwolves, if you move down 3 spots, you still get a really solid player. I think this might be the way to go. And the Bulls get their guy. They get the running mate to play alongside Kobe White, and they go with a backcourt of LaMelo Ball and Kobe White. Now, this all depends on how the Bulls truly view Kobe. Do they see him more as a 2, or do they see him more as a 1? Because LaMelo Ball is not going to play the 2-guard position in the NBA. He has to have the ball in his hands. He has to initiate offense. But if Kobe White can accept a role as the secondary guard on this team, and you roll out with a future of LaMelo, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Wendell Carter Jr., and Lauri Markkanen, this Bulls team might not be great next year, but you give them 3 to 5 years, maybe even a little bit less, then they're right back in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Now, basketball fans, with the NBA returning in December, we're going to have to wear masks when we go into the stadium, and I want you to be able to rep your favorite team. Go to chatsports.com/NBA mask. Whoever your favorite team is, maybe if even you want a player-themed face mask, you can get them there as well. 30% off on these masks. You can get 1, packs of 2, 3, or 4. Whoever your favorite team is, go pick yours up today. Look, I already got mine from Fanatics. Big shout out to them for going ahead and getting my mask and keeping me safe and healthy during this crazy time. So again, that link is chatsports.com/NBA mask. It's in the comments. It's in the description. You can find that link and go get your mask today. Let's talk about another potential number 1 overall pick now with Anthony Edwards. And the latest report is that teams were disappointed with his pro day workout that actually aired on ESPN. Now, the feeling for a while, and my general feeling still here, is that Anthony Edwards was going to go number 1 to the Timberwolves because I think it's a pretty simple fit in that backcourt with D'Angelo Russell or even starting at the 3 position. Now, even if he falls past the Timberwolves at 1, the Warriors at 2, the Hornets at 3 are going to take this guy. There's no reason for them not to. But we'll talk about the report about him disappointing here. It says ESPN's Jonathan Givony reported that Anthony Edwards' televised pro day did not leave a good impression on NBA franchises and front offices. He wrote multiple front offices were somewhat discouraged watching Edwards. According to the report, Edwards looked sluggish and inconsistent while playing. Now, Edwards' stats in his lone year at Georgia, he put up 19 points per game, 5 boards, and 3 assists. Not a great three-point shooter, but he's just a good overall scorer. And guys, let's just be really clear here. Anthony Edwards is the best player available. He is the most athletic. He's a good scorer. He can handle the ball. He can play defense. You know what this is? This is a smoke screen to make sure nobody else takes Edwards. They want him to fall to their team. He's probably going number 1. If he doesn't go 1, he'll go 2 to the Warriors. I'm all in on this kid. I think he truly is going to be a guy that, if he reaches his full potential, is a Dwayne Wade-esque player. If he doesn't reach his full potential, he's like an Andrew Wiggins, which is still really solid. So I'm in on Anthony Edwards. I think these teams that are concerned about it, I think it's Cap. That's what the kids are saying today. It's Cap. But who do you think is the most overrated player in this year's draft? Maybe you think it's Anthony Edwards. I'll tell you my answer. I'm going to whisper it into the mic. It's James Wiseman. But hey, whoever you guys think it is, let me know in the comment section. And then when we do get to the draft, you're going to want to make sure you're watching with us all night long on November 18th. We're a little over a week away. It's coming up faster than anybody could imagine. So subscribe, turn on your notifications, and if you want even more draft coverage, go follow me on Twitter at Jimmy_Crowther.